Take two. I was just almost done, and our wireless connection kicked me off. So we will do this over. We're on Matthew chapter 18, kicking off week 18, and this chapter really focuses on how we treat each other. The disciples come and ask Jesus who is the greatest in the kingdom. So now we get a lesson on the kingdom of heaven and what it should look like. And Jesus stresses the importance of humility, that we should be like children, and how they accept one another and don't generally seek to put themselves first. And at that point, children were one of the lowest segments of society, unlike today. So we need to be like children. And then the self-examination component, dealing with sin, that if your hand or foot cause you to sin, cut it off. If your eyes cause you to sin, tear them out. And I don't think Jesus means to physically maim ourselves, but it's more of a spiritual surgery to deal with what is the root cause of sin. So the self-examination. And we see in this kingdom the parable of the lost sheep, that the love that the shepherd has for that sheep that wanders off and leaves the 99 to go find the one, showing the importance that Jesus in this kingdom has for one person. And we should have that as well. Then in verses 15 to 20, this passage on how to settle conflicts. If your brother sins against you, it says go to your brother in private, just you, and confront them and talk about it. If he listens, you've gained a friend. If he doesn't, then you go up that next step. And the next step is to take one or two others with you to help convince the brother. And then if that doesn't work, you take it to the church. And if it doesn't work with the church, and then it says, treat him as you would a Gentile or a tax collector. Treat him as you would somebody that is not part of the church. And as you think about somebody not part of the church, our goal should always be to love them and to bring them into the church. So this attitude of always trying to reconcile, but whenever you have a conflict, and this is good for any place in our society, you should take it privately to that person first before it escalates to a big group. And that's certainly not what we typically do. And then this attitude of forgiveness is in this kingdom, in the kingdom of heaven, that we have the parable of the unforgiving servant. The king is going to settle his debts. One of the people owes him 10,000 talents. Something I read said that could be equivalent to $10 million today, so a huge sum of money. He pleads with the king. He says, have patience, have mercy. The king forgives him the debt. This person then goes out, the servant went out and finds a fellow servant who owed him 100 denarii. A denarii at that point, they say, might have been 1 day's wages, so 100 days' wages, not insignificant, but very, very small compared to what he owed the king, the previous owed the king. And he had no forgiveness and demanded the person pay what he has, pay that debt, and had him thrown into jail. And the master, the king, hears about this and says, you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me, and should not you now have had mercy on your fellow servant as I had on you? So this importance of forgiving others as Jesus forgives us is imperative. So yeah, the focus is just how we treat each other, with humility, with looking at our own sin first and dealing with our own sin first, and the importance of each person, in the lost sheep, and the model of settling conflict and forgiveness. And this is what is this is the kingdom of heaven. So I hope you have a great day. We'll be in Matthew chapter 19 tomorrow. And let me know if you have any questions or what you're learning. I'd love to hear what God's doing in your life, if there's anything we can pray about. But God bless. Have a great day.